All right, let's settle down. We have some remarkably heavy lifting to do today. And look, I don't use that word lightly. We're going to look at the fundamental architecture of human suffering, specifically guilt, anxiety, and this looming, paralyzing terror of the unexplored future. And look, these aren't just feelings. That's a superficial way of looking at it. They're warnings. They are. They're structural faults in the very foundation of your psyche. And if you don't address them well, then the whole damn building's going to come down, and it's going to take you with it. So let's start with guilt. Everyone carries it. It's that bitter, metallic taste of past failures, the betrayals, the times you lied when you should have spoken the truth. Now, the modern world, and this is it's so pathologically wrong, it tells you, oh, don't feel guilty, just practice self-compassion. Forgive yourself. Well, let me tell you, that's almost entirely useless. It's narcissism light. You can't just decide not to feel guilty. Your conscience isn't some social construct you can just renegotiate. It's an ancient biological mechanism. It knows when you violated your own moral contract. If you've acted like a coward, you should feel guilty. Guilt isn't a random torment. It's a call to rectification. It's the debt you owe to your past self. You don't get over it, you pay the bill. If you've wronged someone, you go to them. You admit your failure without any of those ifs or buts. You ask how to repair the damage. And if you've wronged yourself, wasted years, betrayed your potential, well, then you start making different choices now. You rectify the future by making the present coherent. That's how you lift the weight. You stop lying and you start fixing what's broken. Now, let's pivot to the future. Why is everyone so terrified? Why is anxiety? Why is it skyrocketing? Look, we are anxiety-generating machines. Your brain is designed to look for trouble. It's designed to say, hey, that bush, it looks strange. Is it a berry bush or is it a viper? And when you face the future, you're facing the ultimate strange bush. It's the domain of pure chaos. And look, this isn't just some psychological woo-woo. It's grounded in your very fiber. We share a common evolutionary blueprint with creatures going back hundreds of millions of years. When you cower from the future, when you let that anxiety turn you into the house cat, your brain's neurochemistry actually shifts. Your serotonin levels plummet. And why does that matter? Because when your serotonin is low, you literally cannot see the world correctly. Your brain treats every tiny pebble like a goddamn mountain. You become hypersensitive to negative emotion. You're signaling to your own nervous system that you are a defeated, low-status organism. You have to stand up physically and metaphorically to tell your brain that the hunt is still on. Shrink the frame. If next year is too much, look at today. Every time you step into the chaos, by choice, you don't become less afraid. You become braver. I want to give you a tool. Think about the difference between a domestic house cat and a lion. Think about the house cat. It lives in a curated world. It has 4 walls, a bowl of kibble, and a radiator. It's safe. And here's the thing, the cat's safety is dependent on a system it doesn't understand and cannot control. It's fragile. You drop that cat in the middle of the Serengeti, and it's lunch. When we let guilt and anxiety win, we're trying to be the house cat. We hide in our comfort zones because we want to preserve the safety of the radiator. But you aren't a cat, and a human being who lives like a house cat, they become bitter, resentful. Their soul starts to rot. Now, consider the lion. The lion does not live in a safe world. It lives in a world of thorns and droughts. But the lion doesn't sit in the grass shivering. Why? Because the lion is the uncertainty. The lion has created its strength so thoroughly that it belongs in the chaos. The obstacles aren't in the way of the lion's life. The obstacles are the lion's life. Back when I was a kid, back in Fairview, I worked on a road crew. This was brutal, back-breaking labor. And there was this guy, well, let's call him Mike. Mike was the lead on the crew. And Mike had this way of handling the equipment. That was almost, well, it was artistic in its own grim way. Now, one day we were dealing with a massive section of frozen culvert. It was a mess. It was cold, it was miserable, and the equipment was failing. And I was standing there, I was young, I was arrogant, and I was frankly overwhelmed by the sheer resistance of the material. I was looking at the job as if it were a personal insult. And Mike looked at me and he said something I've never forgotten. He said, "Jordan, the road doesn't care that you're tired. The gravel doesn't care that it's frozen. You either move the earth or the earth moves you." And look, that's exactly what I'm talking about with this lion and the cat. When I was a kid on that road crew, I was acting like the house cat. I was complaining internally that the environment wasn't comfortable. I wanted the gravel to be soft. I was waiting for the radiator to turn on. But Mike was the lion. He didn't waste a single second of his biological energy wishing the culvert wasn't frozen. He accepted the fact of the frozen earth as the starting point of his existence. He integrated the resistance into his own frame of action. Your goal, if you want your life to mean anything, is to undergo that transformation. In the old stories, the hero doesn't find the gold in a sunny meadow. He has to go into the cave where the dragon lives. He has to go into the underworld. That's what your guilt is. It's the dragon in your basement. You have to go down there to retrieve your own lost potential. And you might say, well, that's too risky. Okay, but contemplate the price of not going in. Think about where you'll be in 5 years if you stay on that radiator. You'll be older, more bitter, and more terrified. That's a far worse hell than any temporary pain you'll find in the cave. Stop meowing at the door. You overcome life by becoming the sort of creature that can handle life. Be dangerous, but be disciplined. A dangerous man who uses his strength to protect the truth, that's a king. So you have a choice. You can stay curled up on the radiator, a domesticated victim, or you can stand up. You can stop lying. You can pay your moral debts, and you can focus on the immediate chaos in front of your feet. You face the obstacle, you straighten your posture, you take on your burden, and you move. You don't know what's coming. But you can make sure that whatever it is, it meets a lion and not a cat. Like Mike said, the gravel doesn't care. So get the damn shovel in the ground. Stand up straight, shoulders back, and for heaven's sake, get to work.